It's a dangerous and unpredictable, wild world out there. It seems like it might even be getting worse. And as more and more people wake up to the reality that this is the new normal, and they want to start following that ABC rule, always be carrying, there is a large issue about when it comes to employees, employers, and gun rights. You know, it's very smart to think that you're not invulnerable to attack wherever you are. It isn't like the workplace is some sort of magical bubble where bad things can't happen. In fact, if we take a look at the trends and statistics, the facts are very clear that workplace violence is going up. It's becoming more frequent. So what can an employer do in terms of restricting your right to keep, bear, and possess firearms? Well, there's two things that we have to keep in mind. Number one, any sort of policy that they issue is just that. It's a policy. It isn't the law. And so when it comes to a private employer and whether or not they can regulate your use, possession, transfer, ownership, or anything that has to do with being on their particular property, they pretty much get to write the rules, so to speak. But it doesn't make it criminal if you disobey it. It just means that you're subject to being disciplined, which includes up into including being fired. You absolutely, if there is a written policy or even if there's an oral policy, can be fired, because in Pennsylvania we're at what's called an at-will employment state, meaning that typically people are hired at will. They can be fired for any or no reason whatsoever, as long as it isn't what we call a protected class, meaning something having to do with your race, your religious beliefs, your sexual orientation, your gender identification, some sort of protected class. Unfortunately, Second Amendment people, Article 1, Section 21 people, is not a protected class. So if there is a policy in place that says that there's no guns in the workplace, then it is your choice as to whether or not you carry. But if you are caught, then you're subject to discipline up through including termination. And there's very little that you can do about it. Now, there's another further aspect of that, which is what if the employer says, I can't carry, does that include also having it in my car? And it may, depending upon the wording of the policy or the wording of the oral admonition that you get from the employer. They can tell you that if it is property of theirs, that you can't have a firearm there. They can't regulate property that's not theirs. So if you park across the street and you walk across, then that's something different. So you have to be a little stickler and take a look at the policy as it is written. But if it is a policy that says no guns in the parking lot even, then again, you have that real world choice. Now, if you work in the public sector, it's going to be a little bit different, but those are the general rules when it comes to private, third-party property rights in Pennsylvania when it comes to employer-employee relationship.